Welcome to this episode of the Heart and Mind of Business. Today we're in for an adventure, the entrepreneurial adventure. Are you ready to learn more about that journey? I know Clara is really excited to share. We'll see you in a second. So adventures. I can remember leaving the corporate world and feeling really excited about starting off, Clara, but it wasn't the same for you though, was it?
It wasn't, because I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, having my first business at 18. I have a different perspective. I definitely have had some corporate experiences, but I didn't leave the corporate world or corporate environment to become an entrepreneur like a lot of people do. So my experience as an entrepreneur was much different. It was more of a, yeah, I could do this, and figure it out as I go in the beginning, which changed later, of course, but it was a little different for you because you left corporate America.
Well, I did leave the corporate world. I worked for a very big organization that had, several thousand people working for it. But you only see a small little slice of the organization when it's like that. But I had 8 years of formal training for qualifications, and then you had odd half days, full days, 2 days here and there throughout, learning all sorts of variety of things. And the day that I left, well, it was a couple of days before, my daughter was just doodling because she loves art, and she just doodled this picture because it was thinking about holiday and where we were going on holiday and different things. So she did this picture, and so the adventure begins. And for me, that was just like so apt, because it was not just the adventure of traveling somewhere, but it was the adventure of moving from one type of work to another.
Which is huge scary, huge transition, right?
Yeah.
And adventure is the right word for sure, because you're venturing into uncharted territory.
It was unknown. I tested it a little bit, but it was just happened that suddenly circumstances in the corporate world changed. They were making lots of redundancies, and I had the option to take a package, and I thought, I'm just going to go. But I had to learn about websites and more about what I was going to offer and how I was going to offer that, and how I was going to get my first clients. How was I going to get some testimonials? How was I going to showcase what technology, how were people going to find me? It was just like this endless stream. And I know actually from talking to somebody recently on networking who was just starting out themselves, said to me, how do you get your first clients? And it is an adventure in that way, isn't it? How do you start off?
Yeah, all of the pieces, right? If you have no clue about owning your own business, and from my years of business development consulting, I can remember having people say, I have this idea for this business I want to start, and I don't even know what to do first, right? And we're like, so we start talking through names and some of the pieces that are like the beginning foundational things, and hitting, well, we need to get a domain name. And they're like, a what? We need to get you a personal email. How do I do that? I mean, just super basic stuff that if you just don't know, you just don't know, right? So you need someone to partner with you, or some education, some learning experience to help you in this adventure, right? Because otherwise you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
You don't, but that was the fun bit in some ways, was finding out and connecting with people who did, and just having conversations and trying to be of service rather than trying to get,
Right.
and just trying to help and support each other as best you can, and learning as you go. And what I would have really, really, really liked, I've got to show you, Clara, because you know what's coming.
I do.
Yes. I would have liked something like this, because this starts off with things like the passion, and actually what I started off with business wise was more of what I had learned in the corporate world, but that has evolved such a lot to what I offer now. And had I known so much, what really helped me so much was the language, was instead of scaring myself, was supporting myself, was being really clear about every time I could hear myself going, oh, I'm never going to get this to work, was like stopping that and say, Debbie, I don't want to say that. Okay, what do I want to say? I want to say that somehow a way is going to be found. Someone is going to come up to me and share with me something that will help, or I'll see something online, or there'll be some online training, or something will happen and it'll be like,
that's what I needed.
That's just what I needed.
And having the right attitude about that. And it's this an exciting adventure, exciting journey versus, oh my gosh, I can never figure this out. So self-talk being super important.
And even because we can leave if you were like me and left the corporate world, we can leave under different circumstances. So I left of my own accord, even though I knew they were reducing staff in a great way. I took my chance before that. But other people can be made redundant, and it can have an impact on the way you feel about yourself. You can suddenly feel, actually my skills aren't any good because they don't want me anymore, and I'm never going to be able to do anything. And actually that can have a real negative impact on our confidence and our self-esteem. So for me, that, you know, that's a real key thing, is to be able to learn to support, to nourish, to see it as an adventure, and who knows where it's going to take us.
So true. And it's the exact reason why when we partnered to do the 8 Ways That Matters, the exact reason we partnered, because I spent years teaching the technical, hands-on, get down in the dirt stuff, but didn't have any of that mindset and how you treat yourself and talk to yourself and care for yourself side of it, which is so important, especially in the beginning of a new adventure, especially if you were made redundant or you were let go and you're feeling like I wasn't wanted, or maybe I'm not good enough, and that you can even self-sabotage yourself into thinking, you know, if they wouldn't want me, you know, surely they know, right? If they wouldn't want me, then how can I possibly think I'm good enough to do this on my own?
Absolutely. And do you know what? Sometimes it's like the universe is giving you that great big boot up the backside. Hey, you should have left that job ages ago and you weren't prepared to do it on your own steam. So now I'm forcing you out the door, and now you've got to do something about it.
It's kind of like that, the baby bird, right? Where the mother just kicks them out of the nest. She knows they're ready, right? Kicks them out of the nest, and then they fly because they're birds, right? You know, they may stumble and bumble a bit, but eventually they fly because they're birds. So sometimes you just need that extra little kick to say, you can do this, off you go.
And actually I do put a bit, well, there's quite a lot in the book about the way we talk to ourselves and how our beliefs shape what we think we can do and how we limit ourselves. And you said about self-sabotaging, and I see it all the time. I see it in myself sometimes, still do. I catch myself and think, okay, hang on, what's behind there? And I see it and hear it in other people. As soon as I hear something, oh, well, I could, but it's so difficult. And I think, there's a belief playing out there. Why is it difficult?
Why do you believe that? Yes. So sometimes digging down and figuring out the why, right, of something is the first step to fixing that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why we put the course together, because it's a deep dive. So in January 2021, we're doing a fantastic course on the 8 ways to mind your own business. We're going to be putting together the details in over a 3-day. So we're doing it 3 5-hour sessions to really help you to be able to embed and start something fantastic and kickstart your adventure.
Yes, so even if you've already kickstarted your adventure, you feel like you're just kind of flailing around and unsure of your foundation, this 3-day intensive is a great fit for you. So just come and spend the time with us, and we'll go through all 8 ways in much more depth than the book. Go ahead and get the book and read it, because it's a great starter. It can help you now, but the deep dive that's going to happen in January, we're really excited about that. It's called a 3-day intensive for a reason.
Absolutely. And even when you talked about kickstarting your business, I mean, this book goes up to the point of having employees. So, you've got a good foundation with your business at that point. So wherever you are on your journey, whether you're absolutely new or whether you are a few years in, you're going to learn something pretty cool and pretty new. And as I said, really excited because Clara's got some fantastic strategy stuff she's going to share with you. And I know that I have really, really learned from the stuff that Clara said. And if I'd known all the stuff that she's sharing at the beginning, it would have made my journey a little less roller coastery.
And interestingly enough, I have been an entrepreneur since I was 18. So a really long time now. But even with that, I've learned so much from Debbie about the other side, the pieces that I didn't know were so important. I still had a successful business, but I could see how I was affected by the things that were missing. So even, it doesn't matter where you are. I mean, that's 30 years in business that I've been in business, right? Really long time. I can still learn. We can all still learn something in business. So we invite each and every one of you to join this journey with us for the 3-day intensive. You will be glad you did.
So if you are interested in doing that, Clara, how do they get hold of this? How do they find out more details?
So we would love to get you on our list. First, let's send you to the checklist. So if you go to inspiredbusinessmatters.com and get on our list, it's going to let you download a free checklist. And this is just a really super condensed of the 8 ways that matter. Definitely just checklist, but it's a starting point. It's going to give you the opportunity that will get you on our list where we'll be sending out all of the upcoming announcements about the launch of the new program in January. So be watching there. Plus, it's also a great time to grab your copy of the book. There's a link. And if you're in the US, of course, the link over to the US version. They're the same exact version, but if you're in the UK for shipping purposes, you might want to hop over to that one, order your copy, get to reading, and you'll be even farther ahead when it's time to get started on the workshop. But be on the list so you'll know what's coming.
And just think about this as an adventure. Think about everything as being baby steps. We don't need to know it all. We don't need to know exactly where we're going. We don't need necessarily to even know what the end point is like, although that helps. But it's just knowing that next step. And sometimes that's all we know is what we feel inspired to do next. And that is so important. So be really generous to yourself with your self-care. Give yourself time off. Don't berate yourself when things go wrong, because they will occasionally, or you'll spend a lot of time and you won't get anything back for it. And just lovingly appreciate the knowledge of what you've learned out of that, and know that we are all in the same boat together. It all happens to all of us.
It does indeed, no matter where we are in our business journey or adventure. Okay, I think we're done for today, but we will be back again next Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and get the notifications so you know when we're about to go live. We will see you next week, same time, same place, right back here on the Heart and Mind of Business.
Have a great adventure this week.
See you next week.